Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for April the 8th through the 14th, 2024. As we begin, I'd like to welcome everyone back to this weekly series and to thank you for your loyalty to this weekly series, and to also welcome anyone who might be new to the Angelic Wisdom community. And if you are, please feel free to just give us a shout out and let us know that you are there and maybe where you're from. Also, if you haven't done so at this point, make sure that you're subscribed, select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and also leave your comments. If you would like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And if you'd like to support my channel with a donation, you can go to my link for my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom. So all these links you'll find in the description area below this video. Also, the monthly general angel reading for April has already been posted, and I will include that link as the first link that you will find in the description area beneath the video. So please check that out. I may have mentioned that I may not be able to do the readings, the zodiac readings for the month, because I'm doing like a roommate search and some other things that are going on. So I just want to leave time. It takes, a lot of time to record them. And so, definitely want to keep up with the messages for the month. Well, not for the month, but the daily readings, and as well as my client readings as well. But if all goes well, I will be returning to that in the next month. It's looking like I'm not going to be able to squeeze it in, but if I can find an opportunity over the weekend, I will try to do that. So, first of all, I just want to today, when I'm recording this on April 5th, Friday, in New York, we experienced a 4.8 earthquake. It didn't last for very long, but it was definitely startling. And and it was, the last one I remember was like a 2011 or something, like a 2012. And it just felt like the subway, but just a little bit more intense than that, but very close to the same sound. But the feeling, usually I hear the sound, but the the way it felt and the sound kind of went together. So we all thought it was, that, but we found out it was an earthquake. But today everybody felt it, and it was widespread through the tri-state area. And this is sort of happening after the tragedies that have kind of happened in Taiwan. So we want to really send out prayers for healing and light to the earth and to the people in Taiwan, especially. So, especially dedicating today's reading energetically to them. So, let's take a deep breath. And as you breathe, the angels are reminding you, they write the word safe, then stages, and then knowing. And the way it's coming across to me is to really, as you breathe, tap into that deep inner knowing that you are safe, And to, as you breathe and relax, and to really tap into the stages of your awareness, your spiritual awareness. And I almost feel like it's like a bridge or a staircase ascending from our sort of mundane reality towards the higher spiritual knowledge that's deeply encoded within all of us at this time. And there is this sense of things happening sort of outside of us versus the reality that's happening within us. And the vision that we must hold is the inner one, the inner light, the inner truth, and the inner knowledge that you have. You have tools within you to really influence the outcomes that are sort of being played out on the world stage. And this is definitely not a time to feel insignificant because of the things that are occurring that may be intimidating, frightening, and alarming. All of this is a projection of our ego, but none of it is anchored or connected to or has in any way, shape, or form contaminated the inner clarity, the inner vision of the universe and the earth's plan for peace, harmony, and oneness. If anything, the collective reaction to these things are all causing us to develop a stronger bond with the inner vision of oneness. And within that vision of oneness is total harmlessness, security, safety, serenity, and peace. And Archangel Chamuel, the archangel in charge of your heart chakra, who radiates a beautiful white pink aura of cosmic love, is stepping into the midst of all the souls on the planet whose attention is offered up to the universe to manifest solutions and for peace, for security and safety in a vast number of areas of life. And he descends in this circle of the collective consciousness, of collective souls. This luminous light, soft, gentle, and compassionate. You might feel at this moment your heart chakra warming as it's opening and allowing Archangel Chamuel to enter into and to touch each petal of your heart chakra. There are 33 chambers in the heart chakra. And as he touches you, he brings you total serenity, and a deep sense of serenity about the earth. Allow him now to strengthen your bond with the earth, with Lady Gaia. It is at times like this that we all become, our souls or our energetic bodies become afraid of the earth when it displays these acts of balancing. So storms and earthquakes and what we have termed natural disasters, are actually the earth's form of correction, balance, regeneration, etc. It's healing. And it's not healing just on the physical, but on the emotional and mental and spiritual. It's a way of clearing, awakening, provoking a reunion and connection with your higher self, your divine intelligence and all of its gifts. And so he comes in to soothe your connection with the earth, to replace this sense of fear. And in some of our cases, some of us are feeling so challenged by the earth school and its curriculum that you might find yourself saying out loud or in your heart that you're tired, meaning you're tired of the existence, as if you feel like you want to withdraw from the curriculum and the school. And this is the reason why Archangel Chamuel is coming today to refortify, to, with your permission, to make the earth, to highlight the love that the earth has for you. Remember, the earth is not only just a body, but also a being of divinity. And she loves you unconditionally and trusts you, admires you, and respects your soul so profoundly that it is beyond your perception and imagination. But it is there, profoundly and deeply. This is not a shallow love. This is not conditional. This is not based on how well you perform or do not perform in your life daily. This is not about how spiritual you are or how unspiritual you are behaving at times. You are loved unconditionally, and your light was chosen. Your soul was chosen with a clear purpose and intention. And you are successful every day because there are many states of consciousness that you are actively participating an offering of your gifts. So much so that your personalities, conscious of mind, cannot even embrace the vast scope of who you are and what you are doing by anchoring yourself here through your incarnation. Just by being, you do vastly more than you could ever get a glimpse of. What you're focused on is your struggle with bringing resolution and healing to not just your own karma, but ancestral karma, and in some cases, collective karma and universal karma in other individuals who've taken on all or most of this kind of work. And you may feel that the angels are intensifying their healing with you right now, as you might feel this heat as they are dissolving and trying to lift you up by taking some of those burdens, whether it's from your body or any other facet of yourself, and transmuting them. And this is happening for everyone, whether you are aware of it or not. And you might just be aware of a lessening of the anxiety or the air of oppression or depression that you might not have realized is collective and not personally just you. And this will start if you're not aware of the restoration of safety and in terms of your bond with the earth. You might be aware of a sense of release or relief. It's also important to realize that when they're talking about the earthquake, and I'm going to wait for sort of the information that I should be sharing with you about that to come through. I just sort of feel this sort of opening right now, this sort of opening. What's so really important right now is that we understand that we're in preparation. So our bodies are going through a preparation. Our souls, our beliefs, everything, we're going through a preparation. And one part of this preparation is that we cannot remain sort of dispassionate or disassociated from the reality that is awakening and emerging within all of us. These voices, aspects, or ideas of change and the potential within each of them. They even write that some of you, this might translate in terms of a curiosity. whatever it is that you're curious, find yourself suddenly being curious about, do not shy away from exploring the curiosity that's leading you to the changes that are appropriate for you and your soul's mission, and whatever it is that you're anchoring here at this time that's preparing the way for the planet's full ascension. When I say that, I felt the assurance from love of this being on schedule without a sense of delay or impediment, interfering or being able to interfere or influence or deride it in any way, shape, or form. You might want to say that the foundations of the world are shifting, and that the earthquakes are making us aware of the new age that is coming. And the new age is a foundational transformation, not surface, not this, sort of, it's giving us a sense that we're going to go with this no matter how much we struggle against the damn thing, if you will. And in your life, the changes that are prompting you, and I saw the word desperation as I was saying that, and it's as if, like, you can either get caught up in the desperation, or you can focus on the changes. The desperation that's sort of coming from the collective is what is summoning the light that is pouring into the planet through portals. When I saw earthquake earlier, I also saw the word portals. And so they might be opening, or portals, or are a sign that certain portals, even within the earth, are trying to open. And I get a sense almost that it releases this energy of desperation. Because this energy of desperation that we've all been burying deep because we don't want anybody else to know that we have it. We want everybody to think that we are calm, cool, and collected, that our lives are fine and dandy, that we're handling it. We are, because if for some reason we feel there's a crack in our persona or in the image or our brand, depending on what you're doing, then you're going to lose everything. And so this desperation, well, they're saying consequences. So there are consequences for portraying ourselves in this way, especially in the face of an inevitability like our ascension. Change, and they're writing down conversion, because this ascension is also like a conversion. We are converting from like one paradigm to another, one modus operandi to another. And we have to end We have to embrace this. This conversion is less messy, it's more efficient, and it is about love. All actions, all acts of service are done with love and for the greater good and the greater whole. It is a conversion from selfishness to oneness. And I have a feeling today because I saw for the very first time overly emphasized when I tune into these readings the beings of light standing in circles. I just gave you this very sort of Arthur, King Arthur and the Round Table symbology. This is the conversion that will take place, and that everyone is being inspired to look at within themselves. So the energy is there, and you might be looking at it because you're through your ego's eyes, which sees it as a criticism. You might see in a very judgmental way the system that is now in place in our society, and see it as this very ugly and vile monster. But that is also a projection of separation, because it removes your role in it and your ancestral role within it, and that will not allow it to be dissolved, nor you or I to be healed and set free from it. We have to look at this system, this old paradigm, we have to look at it with great compassion and understanding and incredible love. You have to love until you totally understand how it evolved, because that is the lesson to be learned, not to be judged, but to be understood, so at a deep cellular level, so that it washes away from your being and it's never called upon as a substitute for coping. Because that's how the seeds of all these things branched out. We called ourselves trying to cope from the original fall, the conversion from the golden, the higher evolved states into the devolved ones of the three-dimensional mindset, fear. We were only now trying to figure out how to cope without the great tools that we had in the previous era or great age. Now we're transitioning to a new great age, and we are comfortable. We're in a context of, not afraid of embracing the expansion and the higher frequencies. And all the things, all those coping mechanisms are like crutches. Like we have like all these thousands and thousands of crutches that we have been walking and using to get through life, to just get by. And they all have perpetuated some kind of suffering. And I mean, when I say suffering, I mean, it doesn't matter how much wealth you possess and how much you can buy, privilege and whatever else, joy, success. All people on the planet suffer. whether they suffer because they can't keep up with the image that they're projecting, because that projection it's not connected to the vitalness of oneness, it does not matter. So the stuff we're feeling is a reflection back to us. It hurts. It's frightening. It makes us anxious. It makes us want to escape it all. But now we need to really call upon the angels, especially Archangel Chamuel, to anchor in our heart chakras this deep bond with the earth so that you can reestablish the bond with the profound ninth dimensional throne angel of Gaia, to connect in with that love. It is a love that transcends anything you've ever known. And it's the love that empowers your work, your mission on earth. And so doing things like that are creative in the realms of the arts helps to, it's a gift to that bond. And so try to exercise any kind of care or work that enables these qualities to project back the beauty of your soul. Okay, and let's just take one moment collectively to all see that white pink light, and it might turn into rose gold. See it established deep within the earth. In all places, to help renew and restore, regenerate, and sustain, help to sustain and maintain our bond of extraordinary and miraculous love with the earth, so that we can stand upon her with a clear sense of power, extraordinary power, to enact all forms of this bond in our interactions throughout our daily lives. So let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with. And it's Archangel Metatron. And this really makes sense because he is in charge of the ascension of the entire planet and the universe. And it says, increase your light levels, open your stellar gateway chakras. And so we have, by restoring this bond with Archangel Chamuel helping us, we put ourselves clearly back on our path. So as you practice the things that help you to keep to strengthen that bond, you will find a more certainty and clarity about your mission. And don't get it sort of twisted that you are not on your mission. You're always on it. But it's about really offering the greatest intentions of light and love in any circumstance. That's your primary purpose. And then out of that will evolve a fire of extraordinary power and passion. And there will be no, they write yes, there will be no doubt. No doubt in your ability or the resources or your desire to want to do it, your knowing that you are meant to do it. These things are not thoughts that come up. They are just actualizations of your energy. So just as a small example, because we're so deeply into the recording already and just getting sort of started with the cards itself, but just as an example, think of the times that you spent money, an enormous amount of money, and it never even crossed your mind that it was money that you were spending. Or that you found the gall to do something without even realizing of what gall it took to muster it up. It just was there. The resources, the support, whatever you need, it was there because you were focused on that connection. You recognized it, you remembered it. It was like a dormant memory in your soul or a dormant awareness of action and purpose that all of a sudden immediately blew up and blazed, and you and it were in constant motion and action. And you never looked back and sweated whatever your ego would otherwise have gotten a hold of you and talk to you about what it would cost you, or what the sacrifice, or the ineptness of your capacity to be able to, none of that. You just all of a sudden became super. This kind of purpose, you don't find it. It finds you. And when it does, it doesn't introduce itself. You are already engaged in it. The other moments when this is not the clarity that's sort of blindingly captivating you, then just focus on giving enormous love and intention and attention to whatever it is you're doing. Give it life, and it will give life back to you. This is your power, and we underestimate it by wasting time and energy thinking about what we can't do. When we can always love. We can always love. There is no limitation around you or within you. And that is how, when you realize that, when you start thinking about, I doubt yourself, I can't do this, just love. That love will transform you in that moment and give you that little power boost to overcome yourself, that ego self, the doubting self. Doesn't cost us anything. Okay, so we have here the Three of Swords. And it just gives a sense of limitations coming up, but the limits are in your mind. They are those limits are not true, nor are they real. And that's that suffering that you're being called to heal by refortifying your bond to Lady Gaia, the earth. Call upon the angel Chamuel and Metatron to activate a stargate for you, they write, within the earth that will re-establish that bond. And here we have the Six of Pentacles. So focus on exchanges that are happening within you and with others. Let your heart open to the charity that's at the center of all relationships and interactions and all visions and purpose, missions. Open yourself up to that universal exchange of charity. So pay attention to the ways, pay attention to the extraordinary gifts that are offered, no matter where they're coming from or how they're being presented to you, but just accept them, acknowledge them, appreciate them, and those things will help you to heal that bond. The King of Wands, it really highlights your leadership role right now. Your vision is so powerful, and you to not allow anything to present and cause you to absorb and believe in anything that contradicts it. Because I was just talking to a friend today, and I don't have a lot of time, but I was just really talking about, media. And it's like an extension of our psychic tools of the third eye, of vision, where vision, imagination is created divinely, right? And that we have all of these projections around us telling us what the state of the world is, and the reasons for the state of the world. And it's spooking people out of their bodies, out of their connection with the security and safety and enormous love of the earth. You are being given a vision that you're afraid to execute. And as a result, you turn yourself over to the ego's social media, so to speak, and buy into those visions. This tool of envisioning and projecting that vision is manifestation. This tool, as used spiritually, is enormously powerful in its ability to project love, to project oneness and safety and harmony. So you have to change your attention. When you are provoked by that, you have to direct your attention inwardly and connect with the heart of Lady Gaia. And your sense of purpose and mission will be restored to you. But you can't keep tuning back into that other thing. A lot of the feelings that we're all feeling right now, they're horrible. You go on social media and you feel horrible because you're not what those people are projecting. All of that horrible feeling, that suffering that you're getting, and sometimes we're using it as a blame, is to reflect back to us that you are plugging in inaccurately, and that you are not using these tools that will not only give you an advantage, but that will be advantageous to the collective, because we're not about us anymore. And we will often find ourselves crying for ourselves, and we think it's right and good to feel sorry for ourselves, to cry about our lives. And I know, because I'm talking to myself, but that is a cry to shift from ego to oneness. So I've made it a practice to start praying. If I pray for peaceful sleep, I pray for everybody else around me to have peaceful sleep. Because how else I'm at the epicenter of my prayer, my need. I have to create a community of my prayer in order that if I'm praying for that community in which I live to have the same things that I'm asking for, then I can truly have it. Because everywhere I then look is mine. Because we are all one. And it shouldn't matter to us technically if somebody has the what we want. If you can see it, it is a part of you. And that's why we can't get happy because within ourselves, because we're looking for everything to happen to us and not to happen to all of us. We're just thinking about it happening to me, and if I don't have it, something's wrong, I'm off, blah, 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 etc. We have to let go of that. That's the conversion. These are the conversions that we're going through. And the card that I pulled from the bottom of the deck already is the Justice card. This is all about balance here. And the balance isn't just between you and you. It's a balance that's between you and everything else, because everything else is you. And you and I are accountable to each other. We can't balance a scale unless the accountability is to each other, even if it's in my own thinking. When I hold myself accountable, I must hold myself accountable to the world as well as to myself. And when we start doing this, we start building oneness. We start making it easy for us to access love. Love from the planet, love from the universe, and love from our own connections to our monads, our I am present, and our souls, which are connected and all linked together as oneness. So we have a clear responsibility now. And the world is shaking us up a bit to remind us of the inevitable, that we are on this path of ascension, and love is its destination. And the destination of love resides in everyone you encounter, including yourself. So they write, forgiveness is so important, because the destination here is not from one place, point A to B. The destination is in opening up to, and forgiveness opens up the stargate of love and light and divinity within you, where prosperity and success and abundance is already, and happiness is already yours. Is never been withheld. It's not delayed. It's not about, again, it's not this linear movement. It is always, and you and I are either tuned in or tuned out. And if we open ourselves up to this portal through forgiveness for ourselves and others, the love will pour, or you will be reconnected with the love that's always pouring everywhere and manifesting all sorts of connections. And so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.